takes me back in time, through these halls where memories align, standing still but somehow moving fast, holding on to things that wouldn't last.
The knock came at 2 a.m. She froze. The signal was the same as planned, but something felt off. She opened the door, and there they were, waiting. The woman they came for was no ordinary spy. She was a Muslim woman, the daughter of a Sufi mystic from India, and an American mother from New Mexico. A poet, a musician, a pacifist. She had no ties to Britain, no reason to fight for France, no reason to risk her life in a war. That wasn't hers. Yet, she did. This is the story of Noor Inayat Khan, the princess who became a spy, and the spy who would not break. Noor was born in Moscow in 1914, the daughter of Hazrat Inayat Khan, a Sufi mystic, and descendant of Tipu Sultan, and Aura Ray Baker, an American who had left everything for love. Raised in Paris, Noor was a child of many worlds. At home, she absorbed the mystical teachings of her father. Outside, she was immersed in the art and literature of France. She was not entirely Indian, nor fully French, not British, not American. She belonged everywhere and nowhere. Then, in June 1940, everything changed. The World War II reached Paris. The German army marched in, and the City of Light fell under Nazi occupation. Noor and her family fled to Britain, leaving behind their home, friends, and the life they were used to. As she crossed the English Channel, she turned for one last look at the city she had called home. Paris had fallen. In London, war was everywhere. The Blitz raged. Streets were shattered. And for the first time, Noor felt the weight of history pressing down on her. Uncertain of what else to do, she enlisted in the Women's Auxiliary Air Force, training as a radio operator. And that's when British intelligence took notice. A young woman, fluent in French, and trained in wireless transmissions. She was exactly what the Special Operations Executive, SOE, a secret wing of British intelligence, needed. The survival rate of a wireless operator in occupied France was just 6 weeks. A fact that was shared with Noor. She could have said no, but she didn't. Historians have tried to understand her decision to join the SOE. Patriotism, faith, identity, but none of these truly explain it. Maybe it was simpler, Noor's inherent character. Maybe, for her, honoring a commitment mattered more than everything, even her life. In the summer of 1943, Noor was parachuted into Nazi-occupied France. The moment her boots touched French soil, she was no longer Noor. She was now Madeline, her code name. Her mission was to infiltrate occupied Paris, send intelligence reports to London, and stay invisible. But within weeks, the Gestapo uncovered the SOE's Paris network. One by one, agents were captured and executed. London ordered Noor to evacuate. She refused. Her last transmission testified to her resolve. Cannot abandon post. I am last wireless operator in Paris. For nearly 4 months, she evaded capture and remained the only link between the French resistance and London. But every transmission brought the Gestapo closer. And then, someone betrayed her. A French woman, Renée Gary, the sister of one of Noor's network colleagues, allegedly sold her location to the Gestapo for 100,000 francs. The knock came at 2 a.m. The familiar pre-planned pattern. But she knew it was over. She opened the door. Gestapo agents pounced on her. Noor fought like a lion. It took 4 men to subdue her. At Gestapo headquarters in Paris, Noor endured relentless interrogation. She was beaten, shackled, starved. But she never spoke. Instead, she resisted. In the only way she could. She tried to escape, not once, but twice. After her second attempt, the Gestapo deemed her too dangerous to remain. They labeled her Hochgevaarlich, most dangerous. In November 1943, Noor was transferred to Germany. At Pforzheim prison, she was shackled, hands and feet, for nearly a year. Tortured, isolated, but unbroken. By September 1944, the Gestapo gave up. She had revealed nothing. And now, even if she did, it wouldn't matter. The war had changed. Paris had been liberated. Germany was retreating on all fronts. The Reich was collapsing. If there was ever a moment for mercy, this was it. After all, this was not her personal war. But Noor was not in the hands of men who showed mercy. They killed out of habit, brutality, and revenge. To them, Noor was still an enemy. For 2 days, Noor and 3 other captured SOE agents, Madeleine Damerman, Elaine Pluman, and Yolanda Beekman, were transported across Germany. They didn't know where they were headed, nor were they told. For the first time in nearly a year, they spoke freely. They laughed, spoke in English again, and shared memories of home. The women smoked cigarettes, some even offered by the German soldiers guarding them. For a moment, they were not prisoners, not spies, not condemned. For a moment, they were simply 4 young women on a journey. What they didn't know was that the German soldiers escorting them carried sealed orders for their execution. Nor were they told their destination, Dachau, the infamous Nazi concentration camp, where death was routine and mercy rare. They arrived at Dachau just past midnight. Searchlights swept across the compound, illuminating rows of prisoners, packed behind barbed wire. Soon after arrival, the other 3 women were led away and executed. Noor was held back, singled out for one last, savage beating. When even they could no longer stand, they forced her to kneel. An SS guard, Wilhelm Ruppert, shot her at point-blank range. Noor Inayat Khan was posthumously awarded the George Cross for bravery. In France, she is remembered as a war heroine. But Noor's story is more than history. It's a riddle. Why would a young refugee in Britain, with no ties to empire, no duty to France, choose a path that could only end in death? Why stay when every signal said, run? Why stay silent when words could have saved her? She owed nothing, yet gave everything. What made Noor Inayat Khan choose sacrifice over a life full of promise? Noor left us with more questions than answers. If her story moved you, share it. Because history only remembers what we choose to repeat. For more stories of those who defied silence, subscribe. This is Sarban History. We resurrect what they tried to bury.